61-year-old Florida man Nelson Rivera has been charged with murdering his 62-year-old girlfriend, Elizabeth Crisanti, on the 22nd of September, after Elizabeth failed to collect a 5-year-old and 11-year-old granddaughters from school. Her sister requested a welfare check on her. At around 3:20 p.m, officers went to Elizabeth's home, which was the second unit along 240 Orange Grove Drive in Ormond Beach, Florida. Initially, when deputies arrived, no one answered the door. Elizabeth's sister arrived with the key, which allowed the officers to gain entry into the home. At the entrance to the bedroom, they found blood and what appeared to be a shaving razor on the floor. Inside, they found Elizabeth's lifeless body laying on the ground, with a knife sticking out of her chest. Blood was all around her, on the floor, and on a nearby hamper. The autopsy showed that she sustained stab wounds on her body, as well as cuts to her face, and cuts and bruising to her hands. She had also been strangled. Nelson was found face up on the bed in the same room, alive but unconscious. He had scratches under his right eye, consistent with an injury from a fingernail. He also had blood on his feet and hands, but he had no injuries on him which would cause him to have all that blood on him, the authorities said. While investigating Elizabeth's murder, the deputies said they found evidence through relatives and friends that she was fearful of Nelson and described their relationship as toxic. Nelson was described as extremely controlling and would check all her phone messages and would not allow her to go anywhere without him. Around the time of her murder, she was planning an exit strategy from the relationship. She even told a friend from Connecticut that if anything were to happen to her, that he killed her. At the crime scene, there were no signs of forced entry into the premises. However, detectives found signs of a struggle within the residence. There was a broken rosary found next to Elizabeth's right foot, and beads were scattered throughout the bedroom. On the 26th of September, a warrant for Nelson's arrest was issued, and he was transported from hospital to the Volusia County Jail, where he is held without bond. A 57-year-old Burley, Idaho woman has been arrested after she allegedly tried killing a partially paralysed husband by putting a trash bag over his head while he was sleeping. 8 years prior, he suffered a stroke and lost 80% of the function on his right side. He met Mildred Hope in September of 2019, and they married 5 months later. At around 6 p.m. on the 19th of September 2021, her husband slept on a recliner with a small blanket over him. It was reported that Mildred grabbed a much larger blanket from the home office and wrapped it around him and tucked it very tightly into the sides of the chair to restrain him. She then placed a white plastic garbage bag over his head. Startled, he awoke and started fighting for his life. Struggling to breathe, he managed to tear a hole in the bag. Mildred continued to fight him and tried holding him down and repositioned the bag and tightened it around his neck. He managed to dig his feet into the footrest of the recliner and push himself back in an attempt to free himself from his wife and the bag. The chair broke and he rolled out of it and onto the floor. Mildred was standing on his left side. She grabbed the bag and 2 tie-down straps that were next to the chair and left the room. He called his sister and told her what happened. He then contacted the police. When the authorities arrived, Mildred was sitting on the couch in the living room, and they separated the couple while questioning them. The chair her husband was on was fully reclined, broken and tipped to one side. They asked Mildred where the garbage bag was, and she told them to check the trash cans. They found the bag stuffed halfway down the garbage can, covered with waste paper and food. The bag had nothing in it, but there were 2 stretch marks on it the size of hands and fingers, along with 2 small holes. They also recovered 2 black straps from the home office and 2 blankets that were near the chair. Mildred was arrested and booked into the Cashier County Jail that night. She has been charged with attempted murder, attempted strangulation, and alteration or concealment of evidence. Her bond was set at $1 million.